This was once a city of vibrant life, of bustling markets and whispered prayers. Now only silence answers the wind that howls through broken walls. Smoke still curls from the embers of what was, painting the twilight sky in hues of blood and ash. The air itself feels heavy, thick with the dust of fallen dreams and the scent of spilled blood. It is a monument to ruin, a testament to the war that swept through like a vengeful god. Yet even in this desolation, life persists in the form of conflict. Two figures move through the debris, drawn by an unseen force to the city's ravaged heart. They are the last echoes of a world that is gone, warriors forged in the crucible of its destruction. Their paths converge, inevitable as fate itself. They seek dominion over this wasteland, each believing their will is the only one that can impose order. But order is a fragile thing, easily shattered by the clash of iron and the stubbornness of pride. This city, their city, is now merely the stage for their final tragic act. One is known as Golden Dragon, his presence a mountain of stoic resolve. His eyes hold the weariness of countless battles, yet his grip on his blade is unwavering. He trusts only in the strength of his arm and the sharpness of his steel to carve a future from the ruins. He sees the chaos and believes it must be tamed by an iron hand. His hand. He carries the weight of tradition, the burden of a samurai's duty, twisted by the brutal necessities of survival. His honor demands control, absolute and unyielding. The other is mighty tsunami, a force of nature unleashed by grief and fury. His movements are swift, unpredictable, like the very wave he embodies. Loyalty to those lost fuels his every step, driving him towards vengeance and a claim he believes is his by right. He views the city's fate as a personal wound, one that only the blood of his enemies can heal. He fights not just for survival, but for the memory of a past stolen from him. His thirst for retribution is a burning tide, threatening to consume everything in its path. They meet where the main thoroughfare once stood, now a choked artery of rubble and splintered wood. The setting sun casts long, distorted shadows, turning the ruins into monstrous shapes. Neither speaks, the silence between them louder than any shout. They stand as the last remnants of a proud lineage, facing each other across the chasm of their shared history and opposing wills. The air crackles with unspoken accusations, with the weight of every life lost and every hope extinguished. This is not just a duel. It is the final judgment upon their world. Each sees in the other not just an opponent, but a mirror reflecting the harsh reality of their existence. They are survivors, yes, but also prisoners of the war that shaped them. Defeat here means not just death, but the ultimate dishonor, the erasure of their purpose. There is no turning back, no path to compromise in this desolate place. The city demands a victor, a single master to claim its ashes, and both Golden Dragon and mighty Tsunami believe, with every fiber of their being, that they are that master. Steel sings as blades are drawn, the sound sharp and clear in the oppressive silence. They circle, eyes locked, reading intentions in the slightest shift of weight. The first strike is a blur, met with a parry that sends sparks flying into the twilight. The dance begins, a brutal ballet of attack and defense among the skeletal remains of buildings. Each movement is precise, honed by years of combat, a testament to their mastery of the blade. They are artists of destruction, their canvas the ruined city. Blows rain down, each aimed with lethal intent, yet none find a decisive mark. Blades slide past ribs, deflect off armored forearms, or are turned aside at the last possible second. Small cuts appear, drawing thin lines of crimson, but the true damage is yet to come. They move through the debris-strewn alleys, using the broken landscape to their advantage. A leap over fallen timbers, a sidestep behind a crumbling wall, each maneuver calculated to gain the slightest edge. The duel is a test of endurance as much as skill. Neither warrior yields an inch, their resolve as unyielding as the steel in their hands. The rhythm of their clash echoes through the empty streets, a percussive beat against the backdrop of silence. This is the only language left in this place. They are locked in a deadly embrace, two forces of nature colliding. The golden dragon's stoic defense meets the mighty tsunami's relentless assault. It is a stalemate born of equal skill and opposing philosophies, played out with deadly precision. The fight carries them deeper into the city's heart, past the ghosts of homes and businesses. Every step is heavy, every breath a struggle, yet they push on. The need to win, to survive, to impose their will, drives them forward relentlessly. They are fueled by honor, by vengeance, by the sheer refusal to break. The duel is a microcosm of the war that destroyed their world, a personal conflict mirroring the larger, senseless devastation. Their blades are extensions of their will, their bodies instruments of war. A sun dips lower, casting longer shadows, painting the scene in deeper shades of red and orange. The light reflects off their sweat-slicked faces, highlighting the grim determination etched there. The city watches, silent and broken, as its fate is decided by two men. The clash of steel is constant, a high-pitched whine that speaks of immense force meeting unyielding resistance. They are perfectly matched, two halves of a tragic whole, destined to collide until one is broken. But breaking seems impossible for either of them. They move with a grace born of desperation, their bodies pushed beyond normal limits. Every muscle screams, every joint aches, but the mind remains focused, sharp. The world narrows to the space between their blades, the intent in their opponent's eyes. The duel is a conversation without words, spoken in the language of steel and blood. It is a dialogue of pain, of sacrifice, of the ultimate cost of their convictions. And neither warrior is willing to concede the final word. The fight leads them to a desolate, open road, stretching towards the horizon where the sun bleeds into the sky. They stand apart, blades lowered slightly, chests heaving with the effort. Blood drips from small cuts, staining the dust at their feet. Sweat streams down their faces, mingling with the grime of battle. The intensity of their struggle has taken its toll, leaving them exhausted but unbroken. The air is thick with their ragged breathing, the only sound besides the wind. In this brief, charged pause, they look at each other, truly look. The setting sun frames them in a fiery glow, highlighting the lines of wariness and resolve on their faces. They see not just an enemy, but a reflection. They see the same pride, the same unyielding spirit that drives them both. They see the haunted look in the eyes, the shadow of the war that has consumed everything they knew. They are two sides of the same coin, minted in the fires of destruction. The moment hangs heavy, thick with unspoken understanding and the weight of their shared tragedy. They are the last samurai of a fallen age, fighting for a world that no longer exists against the only other man who truly understands their burden. But understanding does not breed peace. Their paths are set, their destinies intertwined by the blade. The pause is merely a breath before the final plunge, a moment to acknowledge the mirror before shattering it. The sun dips lower, signaling the end. With a guttural cry, a final surge of adrenaline, they charge. Exhaustion is forgotten, replaced by the primal urge to end it. They sprint towards each other across the broken ground, blades raised for the decisive strike. They leap into the air simultaneously, meeting in a final desperate collision. Steel rings out, a deafening chime that echoes across the ruined city, a sound of finality and fate. Their blades lock, wills straining against wills. But the war that created them has one last cruel twist. Beneath the spot where they meet, a hidden scar from the initial invasion, a forgotten landmine, is disturbed. It was left by the invaders who first brought ruin, a silent killer waiting. The ground erupts in a blinding flash and a concussive roar. The force is immense, tearing through the air, shattering the fragile peace of the moment. It is a final, violent punctuation mark on the city's suffering. Blasted upwards by the explosion, the two samurai are flung high into the air. Their bodies, locked in their final desperate struggle, are consumed by the blast. The war that forged them in its fires now claims them as its ultimate sacrifice. They fall back to the silent street, lifeless forms landing amidst the debris. Their bodies lie still, yet positioned as if still locked in combat, a final, grim tableau. The blades that defined their lives rest beside them, silent witnesses. The dust settles slowly, drifting down onto the fallen warriors and the ruined city. The air grows still once more, the only sound the whisper of the wind through broken structures. The sun completes its descent, casting the scene in deep, mournful shadow. The city is empty again, its last two champions fallen not by each other's hand, but by the lingering remnants of the war they fought. Their honor, their vengeance, their struggle for dominion, all rendered meaningless by a forgotten explosive. The futility of their conflict hangs heavy in the air. They fought for a ruined world, driven by codes of honor that led them only to destruction. Their glory was fleeting, their sacrifice a bitter irony in the face of the war's true, indiscriminate nature. The sun sets completely, plunging the city into darkness. The silence returns deeper now, more profound. The stage is empty, the final act concluded, and the ruined city waits, perhaps, for the next chapter of its tragic history to begin.